I am Slick Nick, your personal certified Enneagram coach. I love talking about this book. If you're having trouble understanding which one you are, I remember being frustrated a couple months ago thinking, who am I really? You know, I took all these tests, it was so confusing. Then I paid, $500, yes, to become certified as an Enneagram coach. I got an unexpected bonus at work, and so I was like, well, this will more than cover it. So yeah. But this book, you can buy the link off of Amazon, right there. You can just click there and get this. This really helped me understand what I want to talk about. This sounds like a silly topic. It sounds trivial, but I don't think so. For sevens, we're very pragmatic. So are threes and so are fives. But sevens are very pragmatic. Our fear is that we're going to be in pain or suffering. Ultimately, for me, it's that I fear not being productive. I have to always be doing something because productivity keeps me from feeling like I'm wasting my life. So I always want to be doing something. My mind's always going somewhere. My body's always going somewhere. Hopefully they're going in the same place at the same time, same direction. But I want to talk about the concept of if a 7 is driven by the fear of being in pain and or boredom, then it makes sense that maybe we're the reason that a lot of curse words or cuss words exist. Like, let's just use the word hell, for example. If you look at old movies, people apparently used to say, what the devil? And if we hear that, we're like, that's hilarious. No one ever says that. Well, if you compare Satan to hell, is one worse than the other? Well, not the way we perceive it. For some reason, hell becomes this curse word that devil does not. But we can also look at damnation or the verb damn. What does that actually mean? If as a verb, it means to cast something to suffer in hell for eternity, something that only God can do. But we turn that into a cuss word by using it casually and even taking it from a verb and turning it into a noun, like as if you can give a damnation to something. Like it doesn't even make sense. But ultimately, I think that it may be those Enneagram 7s out there who think, ooh, that's pain and suffering. I don't want to put that into my language. That's too scary, that's too dark. I want to stay positive. Because Enneagram 7s, think about the emotion joy on Inside Out, on the Disney Pixar movie. She's a 7. So, it's funny, it even helps me understand too. 40 years old, I've never been a person who cusses or whatever. It's never been my thing. I've tried multiple times throughout my life, but as far as me on my own, that's not how I express myself. I think part of it is that I assign cussing or profanity or whatever to negative emotions. And Enneagram 7s, we do not do well with understanding negative emotions very well. We are very optimistic. We're the optimist of the group. So if it sounds negative, if I'm thinking, let's say I stub my toe, I'm not going to say a curse word because that's negativity to me. I don't want that. I don't want to put that negativity in my language. I want to stay optimistic. Now, that's not to say that 7s don't, use curse words or whatever. They do. But for me personally, it helps me understand better because it's negativity in language, and I don't have time for negativity. I want to be productive, and I see negativity as a setback to me living my full life. So something as subtle as even the words that I use, I think it helps me understand why I've just never connected with profanity. Like, it doesn't bother me if someone says a bad word. It doesn't bother me. I accept that most people do, but it just, for me, it weighs me down, and somehow it adds to anxiety. It triggers an anxiety if I were to say that. So I want to stay positive, and it's funny because it actually kind of sets me apart in a weird way. It's like for a person who say has never drank alcohol and doesn't, and they're like, oh, you must be an alcoholic. No, I never got into it. I'm not that way with alcohol, but I'm that way with cuss words or whatever. It's just never been for me. I have plenty to say and plenty of words I can use without doing that. So, but can you see where I'm coming from though? It's very arbitrary, the words that we have that are cuss words or whatever. It's random, the ones that we choose to make cuss words versus the ones we don't. But for several of the words that are seen as cuss words, they are attached to pain and suffering. And I think that's interesting. What are your thoughts? Check it right here in the comments.